Ilya Dьячкov, a Korean Peninsula expert at the Russia International Affairs Council. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Dьячкov. The DPRK earlier announced its plan to open up its economy. How do you view the timing of Kim's visit to Russia after doing that and the prospects for cooperation between the two sides?
Yes, actually, North Korea for a while now has been engaging in efforts to liberalize its economy, and they have been quite successful with that. Despite the sanctions, they have showed certain economic growth. At the same time, our bilateral ties with North Korea are unfortunately quite small in scale, and this is mainly and chiefly due to United Nations sanctions. We have our railroad link between Hasan and Drajin, the logistics project, which is exempt from the sanctions. And another area that is still free from the sanctions is tourism. But still, there are some problems with that because Russian banks and financial institutions are reluctant to deal with North Korea. At the same time, maybe this summit will lead to further efforts to ease the sanctions reciprocally after North Korea's steps towards denuclearization.
Well, since the six-party talks stalled, actually Russia has not been in the picture in terms of the Korean Peninsula issue. And now the country is in spotlight as it's engaging more actively in affairs related to DPRK. And bilateral ties continue to improve as well. How do you view this development?
Well, this is definitely a good thing because now currently in terms of denuclearization efforts and the efforts to resolve the nuclear issue, the main track is the bilateral track between Pyongyang and Washington, between North Korea and America. And we have witnessed that it has been quite rough, this road to denuclearization. Maybe a multilateral approach where all the chief countries of the region are engaged. An approach that is similar to six-party talks will be will provide for a more stable framework, for a more stable environment to resolve the nuclear issue. And this is actually in accordance to the roadmap which was presented 2 years ago by Russia and China, which actually provides for in the end for a mechanism to ensure security in Northeast Asia.
And the reaction from U.S. President Donald Trump is very interesting because it has been none. It's been zero. He didn't even tweet about this. What do you think? How do you view his reaction like that? Do you think Donald Trump or even the whole U.S. government is having some sort of concerns on the meeting?
Well, I don't think that the lack of reaction from President Trump is that big of a deal because this is, after all, a bilateral summit between Russia and North Korea. At the same time, we know that the U.S. is keeping in touch with Russia. Last week, we have been visited by U.S. Special Representative for North Korea, Stephen Biegun, and last month, Mark Lambert, U.S. Special Envoy for North Korea, also visited Moscow. So Russian and American top diplomats are keeping in touch and I believe coordinating their efforts in some way. So there are contacts on the working level and the lack of reaction on top level, I don't think it is that important.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ilya Dьячков, Korean Peninsula expert at the Russia International Affairs Council. Thank you very much for your time. Now, a security